once again. Okay? So kindly turn to the person seated next to you, tell them, Karibu sana. I'll be in there. Okay? Now that we've snacked up and our sugar levels are getting there, yeah? I think it's about time we started, because in Nairobi, we like to do things chap-chap, okay? So, welcome to this event. We have an awesome guest list of, or can I say lineup of people who will give us doses of wisdom, and among them, as I mention their names, please clap for them, okay? So we have Lorofode in the house, okay? And they will be represented by a special lady called Angella Jemo. And then we have, as you can see on the screen, it's written Sevenstar Group, okay? Clap for them, please. They will talk to us about investment and how to direct our monies and grow them, okay? And then, last but not least, as one of the speakers, he's a good friend of mine. We have Mwakazi in the house. Yeah, and then we shall have entertainment from Pent Harmony. Okay, it's okay to clap for them. And a special lady will give us a special song. She's called Aileen. You can clap for her. So I'd like to call up our first speaker for tonight. He's from the Sevenstar Group, and he is the director of Sevenstar Group, and he'll tell us, he'll give us, a brief of the company and the need for starting such a company. Okay? How many have been familiar with the term financial freedom? Do we know what that is? Okay? Maybe, just, and the reason why we need to be financially, to have that financial freedom, okay? So I'd like you to give a round of applause for Anthony as he comes to share with us. And he'll talk to us about investments. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. But I thought you should have rapped. What do you think? What's a big? Let's do it for another day. Yeah. Yes, my name is Anthony Kuaduta, and I'm one of the directors. We are a couple. We are many, and we are growing. Not a couple as in living a one to going, and we are growing. All right? It's good to see you guys. Mwakazi na smiling. Thanks, bro. It's good to see you. You and that lady is smiling. Now, Sevenstar Group. Let me start there. Who knows about us? I know she does. She does. Who else has heard about Sevenstar Group? By show of hand. Which other person? Wow. Okay. Marketing. Ataenda home. So let me start by briefly saying what Sevenstar Group is about and why we exist. And I like that. I want to be very quick. I know, see what I'm going to that gentleman akiongea, sindio? So I want to be very quick and punchy. I want to even break this word Sevenstar Group in two. It's actually a corrupted word. It should be 7 stars, sindio? But even from the corruption, it tells you we don't want to think in a normal way. And Sevenstar Group is made up of 7 pillars. By pillars, we mean companies. 7 companies that support a vision. Number 2, it was founded by 7 individuals. And these 7 individuals, I like to say, met up probably 6 years ago. Each one of us looking for that one thing this gentleman talked about, financial freedom. And we met up in places where we thought this freedom is easily found. And I tell you, we were godly people. We're still godly people. And so we also wanted to find out, we know there are people who are wealthy in this nation and globally. We wanted to find out how is wealth made? How do we create wealth? And I want to define kidogo, wealth and riches. Najua, those two terms almost look the same, but are very different. For us, we are not looking for riches. Riches ideally is defined by what we have in our pocket, what you have in your account, what you have here and now, liquid form. Wealth is about how much it can work for you and for how many years before it drains. Senor. And so that's why you find, I'll just define it a bit here and talk about wealth and riches. When we did our research, we were pointed back to a few people, a few books. We knocked on very many doors of wealthy people because ideally, if I want to learn how to throw a javelin, like this brother of ours who won a gold medal, I'd rather go to him and be a senior. But I could struggle with Mwakazi. Mwakazi, I'd go to him and ask for the voice that sounds like this, and how to train it. And so we went to those people, ideally to ask them, how is wealth made? I'll tell you one thing they told us. They say that this category of people, there is what we call VP. Nasiba is president. These are called very poor people. Sindio, na wako na tunawajua. Na sina ubaya. But they say, look at how much this guy can take, how much it takes for this guy to not go to work. Ideally, this gentleman cannot afford to miss a day of work. His issues are daily oriented. Senior, and I can give you examples. I know them, we know them, we probably come from that place where if you go to shops, they sell tusukari tudogo. Senior, they sell tumafuta tudogo. Everything is for the day, for the subsistence. This guy goes out and comes back in with something. We know there are guys called the poor. These guys are earning wages. So what can they do? This guy can go a week without working. He can. Yeah. If you want even to ask him for 200 bob, he'll tell you to kutane Friday. Senor, tell you to kutane Friday because he's expecting pay from probably Ranchubai on Friday. And he'll give you that 200 bob on Friday. Siku just ingine. These guys are there. Then we have the middle class. Let me talk about these people for a while. These guys are called to be, are said to be the most, I don't strike what probably most of us are part of them, but the most dormant. Most of us came from here. The day tulifika hapa, we thought we would have it made. And that's the problem in this land, in many third world countries. Middle class, when people get to this level, they stagnate and they stop thinking. This guy can do whatever they can do monthly. Be it rents, be it, what date is it today? Imepita. It was 8 days ago, Ngenda supermarket. Tumepangana line hivi. And the other day, the supers are open. Senor, banks, anything, be it, even ATMs, monthly, there are these agendas. Then, let's talk about the rich. Yeah. These guys are a yearly planner. They are able to, nasi, ile kitu tunafanyanga mwaka ikiisha ni nini? Remind me. Yeah, see resolution. See at I want to. Apana, this gentleman upon a project. He's putting up a business, he's doing something that he knows for sure this is what he'll dedicate his whole entire year. This guy can go a year without working because that project means he has some streams of income coming in that can support him. Then we have the very rich. These guys go decades, 10 years, they can go without earning. They can go without any other monies coming in. I'll talk about the likes of Akina, even Akina Uhuru. Just the other day, Media Max, or a percentage of. I know this guy, his agenda in his mind is not that he will get profit the next day. I can promise you. He's not opened that project for profit the next day. But for us, one thing we do, we are never system oriented. For us, tunataka small businesses. And so, this is the journey that those people took us and told us. Most of us start here, if you don't get an inheritance, and the agenda is to end here. But most of us will stagnate here. That's the sorry state. And let me tell you, that's the reason Sevenstar came up. Because for us, we knew we were here. I've seen my dad. Let me be personal. I've seen my parents, I've seen my uncles work here. Live large, live nice. But school hapa paliisha. Sindio? Because here, ideally, what you're doing, most of us, what we are doing when we are here, any middle class, you go and ask any middle class, they are doing, let me draw this triangle, Nasia Illuminati. They are doing two things when they are here. They are either here. Those people are in this agenda. They are either employed or self-employed. Sindio? Let's talk together. Sindio? Those people are in these two agendas. Ideally, what these people are doing is they are selling their hours for income. Nicole, it's you walk in, you punch your number, you work for the 8 hours you have traded in to whoever is your boss, and you pay at the end of your 8 hours. But there was an agenda that I didn't know existed when we started, that people do, that the wealthy are existing in and are thriving in. The people called business owners. And by business, I don't mean subsistence business. There are two different kind of businesses. There is the business, kuna ka kiosk ka chai mahali hapa. Sindio? That's a hotel. Sindio? Na Hilton, Sipiani Hotel. There are two kinds of business, but they will call themselves hotel. But you will find those people that walk into Hilton. Walk into Hilton, si kushiba, si atubo. They go and even the tea in Hilton is very mkadogo. Na hakuna choma. Sindio? Hakuna chai choma. It's called high tea. Thank you. But go to hotel. Sindio? Kikombe ni gani? Ni how much? Hiyo chai? Ubole probably 10 bob. Ya Hilton is probably 400 bob. Sindio? Na ndazi inatoshana hivi. Na hata, let me steal your secret. Hata ndazi tulikuwa tunaweka kwa mfuko. Sindio? Ukikuja hapo unakuja na mkate umefinya hivi. So ile tutaitisha ni chai. Go to hotel. But all of them say they are hotels. Ni kweli? So for us, we know there is business and there is subsistence business where it's hand to mouth. So there are BOs. Then at the top of the apex here, investors. These are the guys who enjoy what is called passive income. Well, hapa, we are talking about active income. If you're not there, the day you don't open your shop, even if it's a salon, the day you don't open that salon, I promise you, don't expect any income. The day you don't go to work, I used to work in a company tulikuwa tunaingia na kadi. The day you don't work, hapo hiyo siku inaexiwa. Si ndio? Mshahara utanotice. Utanotice labda uende ukapeleke na HR. Ama umpeleke kasipshi. But ingekansoliwa. This is what is hours for income. And we are saying the agenda for Sevenstar and for young people. I'll talk about the youth because hapa ideally we're young. Sindio? Hata mimi. Sindio? Hata mimi. Kwa hiyo category. So I'll talk about us, young people, and say it's not bad to sell hours for income, but we are being misguided that that's everything in life. That if you get a job in what is the job you value the most? My dear friend, to be a radio presenter. In which station? On FM. I like on FM, it's very good. If you get a job in on FM, what do? Tunakelanga mgo to your meza, sindio? I know even Nani is doing probably the same. What is this guy called? No, he's from Ghetto. Busite, sindio? He's now earning. I know he's earning good money. But the problem we do is, because no one is telling us about this. We went to school, we were told, some of us didn't, but a kazi. So what about after the job? Yes, nimepata kazi, I'm in Barclays, I'm whatever, I'm earning. What after the job? You get to an FM, what after that? And for me, we need to do a reversion of your wimbo. You kama ulikasikia ama ukasikia kale ndio wanasema someni hivi jana ako kaendelesha hapo mbele kidogo na rap. Ndio? Because mwisho wa kusoma utapata kazi nzuri sana, hata tuongeshe na hapo mbele. it's not about, the end is not here. For me, this is only a means, to an end here. That is why Sevenstar was formed, where we say we want, number one, to buy back our time. We want, number two, to put up systems. And I'll define systems shortly. One, we want to make sure that how do you buy back your time? Let me just turn it because Najo Kuchinya has already seen. But let me ask you, how many hours do we all have? God has given us 24 hours, senior. How many hours do we sleep? Ideally, all our land start 8, 6, 4. Lala. It's good investment, I tell you for sure. Lala. So on average, they say 8 to 12 hours. You should 6 to 8 hours is what you should sleep. So let's call it 8. Senor, we shower, we eat, we do what? We watch TV, we commute. How many hours? 4? Senor. So ideally, we spend 12 hours of our 24 hours on activities that won't pay us back in terms of monetary. Senor. Then we only have 12 hours where we can do active income. These 12 hours, what do we go and do? We go the brown envelope and we look for employer X. That's the employer. And we tell them, for X amount, I will sell you my 8 hours. For 6 days a week. For 11 months a year. All of those things are put down in a contract. 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, 11 months a year. Actually, I was just reading an article that was saying 60% of the workforce in this nation is young people. We are the creators of this wealth, yet we are not partakers. We are the ones who like wallet to our equities, to our the Barclays, to our the Sevenstar, but we are not partakers of that wealth. And so what do? We sell our 8 hours for income. But what you have ideally done is you have made boss X, amenunua 8 hours zako, na akanunua za this gentleman called Kimani, na akanunua za this other lady, akanunua za sisi tukiwa 100 people. How many hours does this guy have in a day? 800 hours. This guy has 800 hours active working for him in a day. Wewe uko na 24 yako, ulilala, ukaoga, ukatravel, sindio? Na ukimaliza kazi hivi umekimbia home. This guy has exhausted you seriously. But what can this guy do? This guy is very clever. He knows time is money. God says our days are numbered. He knows. This guy knows. This guy can afford to be in Bahamas for these 24 hours, another connect to minute. Do you know what? He can even afford to die. This guy can die. He can die and atafanyiwa kazi. Can we talk about tasks? Is the owner alive? Let me talk about NIC Bank. It was established 100 years ago. What does that tell you? The people who established, hata kama walikuwa mwaka moja, wakianzisha, wako, but NIC is still standing. Just to talk about it, which is very close to us here. There's a gentleman who invested in it called Mwakazi. Si tunajua Mwakazi, sisi wote. Mwakazi died 4 years ago. Dead, buried. Endo wangalie report ya equity ya kupea dividend back this year. Mwakazi got 60 million. Dead in the grave, rotten. This is a system boss. But the two projects we will always do as individuals die and live with us. And so this is why Sevenstar Group was formed, where we say, for us, we want to do something that is in the Word of God that says, a wise man is he that lives an inheritance to his children and his children's children. Mbona wala wanaendaga church? Sijaliana tuseme iko basi gani? Proverbs? This is Proverbs. This is know that. So that's a wise man. That is our agenda. I can tell you, if my dad did what a wise man did, let me tell you, Samatuko, I would not have known what it is to write a curriculum die. My name is, I can work under pressure with minimal supervision. You even cram those words. I can tell you, I would never have known. And that's my agenda. I have a son, a 5-year-old boy. My agenda, that young man, had a shika brown envelope, right? Because we will have, what's a proposals? Nicole, do you know that 4-year-old billionaire from Marehemu, I don't know? Karume. Senor, is that gentleman that left a 4-year-old billionaire? That boy forever will look at proposals, not CVs. And that's the agenda I want us to talk about today, where we are saying most of us are being fooled by this agenda called employment and self-employment. And let me tell you how. Let me go back here and ask. We grade our education is in your A, B, C, D, E. Kuna F, Papa. Let me ask you, who goes to work as a doctor in this land? An A student. Senor, as an engineer, A, B, a nurse, white collars, tuzimalizie A, B. Senor, zikienda sana, let's go back to C here. Right? So that what we are ideally saying is that the cream of the crop in this land is where? Iko hapa. Inafanya nini? Inauza hours for income. Who's taking for this land? Who is creating those jobs? If all of us go to the Western world, the doctors, for sure, are not A students. Well, general practitioners are not A students. They're not. The think tank has thinkers, people that are brilliant minds. But our brilliant minds are either here, employed, wakikosa kazi kidogo waruki hapa juu, ama waende ngambo. Ni kweli? Waende ngambo kufanya? Washa wazee. Ndio, ukata loan. You go. Ask ile kazi wanafanyanga. It's still back here. It's the jobs that economy can't touch. Alright? There are jobs that economy can't touch. And this is what I keep saying. When I'll see Tanzanians doing Jemo here and doing odd jobs here, our economy has grown. I tell you. What's an GDP? When you see that happen, and thank God it happens. Go to Kikomba, you'll find them. Some mochis are desserts. When you see that happen in the masses that it is happening for us going to Dubai to be watchmen, to be paid 100K who are watching. Why? Because the person in that land cannot do that job for that amount of money. That's the agenda for us to grow an economy where people wametoka hapa. But not because waliruka. Kuruka, the only way utaruka hapa ni mtoto wako sasa. Sisi hatuna otherwise. We must work our way up. But if you will be wise with what God has blessed us with and work it up to this level, we will leave an inheritance for our children and for our children's children. So now, ideally for me, do you know who I'm supposed to be taftiring money for? For my social, grandchild. That's the person I'm supposed to be hustling for. Because my father hustled for me and hustled for my son. So if it's ideal, that's the person I'm supposed to be hustling for. But say, if it was target, I don't ningekuwa nimeweka simu off. Utasikia tu mama amenipigia. Nikiona hiyo simu, mwisho. And I don't need to answer it. I just need to go to M-Pesa, Tuma. Itaingia tena. I'll just say, thank you, God bless you. So, do you know what it means? It means I'm being pulled 3 ways. I'm trying to deal with backlog, I'm dealing with my immediate, and I'm also trying to deal with my hour. But I'm saying, thank God for the information. Now we know. My people perish for lack of knowledge. And so that's the why. That's the why Sevenstar exists. And we know of agendas. I'm coming from a place where I've seen this happen. I've seen I've seen a people come together, build something greater than an individual will do. You know? I know this gentleman called Mwakazi. He's now in an agenda called Fountain. They just reached the other day called Wow. I watched your news. I'm an investor there. I invested 207, and I love that agenda. Right now, I have a media house. Inafanya kazi. Mi siko hapa. We have hotels in Sagana. We have schools in Moya and Tigoni. We have what? Mobicas. You guys have seen Mobicas? It's written, a member of February. Senor, I am not there, but I know at the end of the year, they'll tell me, hey, for what you've done. So let me talk about something else. Just briefly, as I not concluding. This guy said he signaled me. So let me talk about something called founder shares and IPO shares. It's important I talk about this because Sevenstar is at the period of selling founder shares. What are founder shares? I'll tell you what they are by definition, by what is in fact and is in paper. I'll talk about equity. Equity is a good case study for anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur. Equity is owned by 26,500 shareholders. Right? Out of these people, 210 own 93% of equity. Right? 26,290 own a mere 7%. Both, our deal founders. Our IPO. And this is where men and boys, girls and ladies are separated. These guys, go look at the 60 million I said, nani anapewa kwa dividend. Bwana Mwoko wako hapa. Akina Mwangi wako hapa. At the foundation level, this is where it matters for you to ever invest. If you go rush to, sorry for saying this, the Safaricom shares. Nani wangapi walinunua? Siogope? Sindio? Tunapewa how much? Mwisho wa mwaka? Tulipewa ngapi? 200, 300. Sindio? But it's because you joined another man's agenda. Sindio? And you waited a toil, a hustle, and then now you want to come and think you can be equals. Sahau. Wewe utakulianga marupurupu, sindio? Ile inabaki tunatupa nje. But we did it out of ignorance. We didn't know. But the guys who bought those shares at foundation stage, they were sellers. As any shares that are being sold, sikuna mtu anauza. Those guys who were selling are laughing to the bank now. Today, bado wanacheka. Hawajai wacha kucheka vile tuliwazidishia wealth when we, what they call oversubscribed. Sindio? But us, we want to be at the buying stage. This is founder, huyu ni IPO, PPO. So for me, and for Sevenstar Group, we are foundation. This is where we are calling, we are making a, pastor says a clarion call. Sindio, is it that? To whoever will listen and will hear. Come, let's reason together. One, we say, these are the things we were taught to look for in an individual. Finances. What else? No, what resource is in an individual? Individual akona trinity. Akona financial resource. What he has. Sindio? Then he has intellectual wealth. What he knows. Sindio? Then he has social network. Who? He knows. These are the things we are looking for. If you look for those things, even in your chama, in your small chama, and combine them, for sure, you will be successful in whatever agenda. So this is what Sevenstar put together. One, we say we want to be like the wealthy. The wealthy, what they do is they maximize their interest and minimize their out. Sindio? Hapa, make as wide as possible. Hapa ndio ukiweza funga. Ikiletwa kwa funga, you need to go and get cut somewhere. Do you understand this? That your cash flow, make it as wide as possible, and your exit as little as possible. But what do the poor do? And I'm saying poor because it's poor in quotes. What do? It's vice versa. Entry yao inakuwa inasana hivi. Exit inakaa hivi. Kuna rent, kuna fuel, kuna we do the vice versa. And that's why you find it. Look at the country. How many companies do they own? I can't even count them. Sindio? And here what they are doing, they are bouncing a shilling in their compound. They're making sure kabla hiyo kashilingi but the exit pale. Labda wanataka kutafuta sweeper. Waandike, they will pay out. Ama they want to get haircuts. Sindio? Na probably they'll go to Sarit, which still is pesa kwa mfuko kuweka hapa. So Sevenstar said, we want to do 7 agendas. Ideally to make sure that we, as much as possible, put our monies back to the pot. One, we want to be a bank by 2020. We started 2013 as an MFI, microfinance institution. We are here, we've been here, we have 4 branches, we have Kiambu, Angella, Nakuru, and we have a Nairobi branch. We've been lending money. Look at those brochures, we've been, and we are creative in our lending. Let me go back and say that. We came and we realized there are people who are not being catered for, where funding and loaning is concerned. We are catering for those people. And those people are shouting our names left, right, and center. We've been able to loan bodabodas to guys all over. Just because we went to those bodaboda guys and we asked them, hii boda ni yako? Sema pana hii boda mimi nimeandikwa. Kamuza haya, boss, unatumianga mdosi ngapi? Say, natumanga 300 every day minus Sunday. Kaambia boss fanya hivi. Come with 20% of the worth of a bodaboda you want. Sini ya for me at 7, let her 20k as a deposit. We will in turn buy you the boda, back in a logbook. You pay the 300 to us every day minus Sunday. I can tell you about 16 of those guys have finished. Within 11 months, they have finished paying that. And for me, that's empowerment. That guy, those guys are now coming back to us saying, "Nami nataka kununua share." Then they couldn't. They didn't have the money. Now they can. They say, instead of this 300 ianza kuningia, let me buy shares. Let me contribute to the kids so I'm also a part shareholder of this company. And so those are the kind of things we've been able to do. So we started 2013. 2018, we are going to be at ATM. Deposit taking microfinance. This is half a bank. When you become an ATM, things are good. Ask me why. Ask me why, please. You know why things are good? Because what is an ATM? It means now people can bring deposits to you. And how glorious it is when people bring deposits to you. Because you can now activate OPM. Other people's money. Understand this. It's not illegal, it's not bad. Equity today only needs to put up a structure like this and work a banking policy. And by the evening, they have enough money for this gentleman to come and lend a million. You know, it's about, we are not poor. Let me tell you, we are not poor. But the 50K, the 100 tunapack kwa banks, that's the same thing that Mwakazi comes and says he has a project. He says, mimi nataka loan ya 5 million. Na anapewa. It's not taken from heaven somewhere. It is our money. But we get what? 4% per year or something like that. Sindio? Na hata watatuuliza, you know, if you're not even asked if they can trade with that money. It's there. You look at the document, it's there in fine print. Pale na nikongo hapa chini. Kale kadogo. But ideally they trade with your money. But when you get here, it's joy. Kwa sababu we will be able to also do the same. We will be able to, we'll grow more. By the time tunafika 2020, let me do it again here. 2013, MFI. 2018, ATM. 2020, bank. Let me tell you why we need you. I've only mentioned about one agenda. Sindio? Let me tell you why we need you. We were 7 when we started. We are around probably 900 now, investors. Let me tell you, when you were here, We are being regulated by an association called Association of Microfinance Institutions. When to die 200K, 200K we could do easily. Ndio, we will come here. To be a DTM in this land, we need 200 million. Hapo, sababu inaanza kukua. As this is a security fund, let me emphasize, it's not working capital. Si pesa utaenda ati uanze kulend watu. It's money that goes to central bank, usitoroke na pesa ya watu. If you ever collapse, they are being given back their money. Sindio? So here, the math starts getting harder. When we get to a bank, how much? Anyone? 1 billion. $1 billion shillings goes to the security fund. That's why we need people. One, this we will also look for other people here. We'll do a PPO, we'll do an FPO. Here we are doing founder shares. So we'll also look for other kinds of money. But ideally, let me tell you, you are the joker. See, you are the land. Sindio, they pack their bags and they disappear. You know you is richer than Safaricom. Fact. But what did you have? What did it not have? People. Thank you. It didn't have people. It had the money. But it cost our it had to wrap up back Ruby, India. Sindio? And that, for me, is why we need people. I'll also rush and tell you about the others. Number 2, we're in real estate. We also chose this. All the companies I'm talking about are systems. We're in real estate. We've been operating for 6 months now, selling property and land, and it's good business. Even within the investors, these are 800, 900 people who, again, know the secrets of investing. So Kimwambia, we have a property in Nakuru that is worth 12 million. That guy knows what it is to put a shilling today to get 3 tomorrow. Senior. So real estate has been doing fine. Then we also are in oil. We said here, wacha tujijaze. Senior. But we said, let's start at wholesale. This is where we started. 6 months ago, we also started wholesaling petroleum products. We're buying diesel, we're buying kerosene. We are selling to pump stations and paint makers. And this is good business. Ask people. This in itself is sustainable business. Wholesaling, buy for importer, user. But by mid next year, strategy is we'll put up our first pump station. And that network will grow from there. Mid next year. Number 4, we have security and IT. This also is another beautiful story. I wish I had the time to talk about it, but it's a blessing. It's a blessing how we got this. There is a freeze on any new security companies in this land for the past 2 years, but we got out after being brought by the government. So government also said, "I want to Mwakazi." So this will happen by September. We will start. Manned guards and surveillance will start. Number 5, we have what? Insurance. Insurance will also start by December. This is general insurance. It will start as an agency, go to a brokerage, then a full-fledged insurance company. By December, magari zetu, whatever we have. Number 6, we have a supermarket. This also is a fine product. We are very proud of this. We are putting it up in Mwakazi. I wish I had the photo to show you. It's an awesome space we found, and we're actually going to put up a mini mall because the mega 6 go down. I don't know who knows where Kaski and Mwakazi is. We're actually not far from it. And there are 6 mega go downs that we've gotten for. It's called. And we are going to put up a supermarket in 2 of those go downs. Then we'll put up one of the go downs will be our warehouse. 3 to lease out to investors. If you want to put up a chemist, if you want to put up a Java house, we will lease out to investors and to interested business people at large. This will happen December. This actually is our Christmas gift to investors. Watch that space. We will launch it, we will drum about it, we will shout about it. And number 7, we were taught, big givers. So Sevenstar has a Sevenstar Foundation. We are taught, again, the biggest thing about the poor, and most of Asians and Islam, even Christians, are very stingy majority. Kabla kakitu katoka, pastor lazima a preach, the music must be right. Unajua, it must, that cartoon, mpaka ingie ndio, even the time. But they say, look at the Asians, look at the Hindus. They have excelled because go Siloni Friday, end up establishments of Islam. Guys are lining up to get 20 bob or whatever. But us, we have excelled in the art of being mean. And for us, we decided, given it shall be given unto you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For the measure you use, it will be measured unto you. These are the pillars we chose for Sevenstar. They are up and running, some are on the way, some are in the pipeline. There is a chance for all of us to belong. We said we 2 minutes. We said we are going to, there's brochures there that you can read after, but we said, let me talk about young people. We are going to, we were doing capitalization last year. Gold, we sold shares that we dubbed gold. Just from the fact that these people believed in us when there was nothing. Here, we were selling weed, brothers and sisters. We were selling ambition. But these people bought us, they knew us. Okay? So these guys are very precious to us. This year, we are selling silver. This runs from 2014 to 2018. No, sorry, to 2016. This is 10,000 shares at 20 bob. This is 200K payable in 2 years. Paid in installments. But we say, how do we subsidize this for young people? We came up with an agenda called the Sika Revolution, which Bubi is our brand ambassador. We say, mtumishi yako ndani, mwenye haki. We say, Dosika, if you're between the ages of 35 to 25, you can buy 5,000 shares at 10 bob. This is 50K payable in 2 years. If you're between 25 to 18, you can buy 2,500 shares, which is at 10 bob, which is 25K, again payable in 2 years. If you're between 0 to 18, these are our children. You can buy 1,000 at 10 bob, payable in a year. This is 10,000 shillings. That's how you get in. There's dividend that will start by 2020. Targeted dividend. This is a whole mark that I don't have to take you through, but we can sit down and talk about that. But there is dividend, because at the end of the day, when you invest, you must ask for your return on investment. There is that. By 2020, we are going to consolidate this company. For 7 years, we will keep quiet. We will ask you, what do you know? That gentleman was a radio passionist. We'll talk about what we know. I'm a marketer, I'm what. We'll connect in those dots. We'll talk about who do you know. I am this and that. We'll connect in those dots. But after the 7 years, dividend starts. And it starts 2020, 2021, going and going. I can tell you dividend for equity started Walikula 20 years after. So I think what I'm about here, dear brother, I'm grateful for the time. I'm grateful for your ears, and I pray that you join us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Anthony, for that passionate presentation about the Sevenstar Group. And I think if you're wise, this to me sounds like something we can pursue further. So we can have conversations with you later.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So coming up next is somebody who is going to. She's in the line of intellectual property in the form of music. Because now we are talking about investments, etc. So Elaine is in the house. Round of applause for her. So she will come and give us a song, a piece, and then we'll take it up from there. Thank you. Welcome.
Hello everyone. Yes, I'm Elaine, and I'll be singing you a song by Casting Crowds. It's called Who Am I? I was hoping to have some others with me, but they've not been able to come. So. Who am I that the Lord of all the earth would care to know my name, would care to feel my hurt? I'm yours, I'm yours. The question is, whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? I am yours, I am yours. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? I am yours, I am yours. For I am a flower quickly fading, here today and gone tomorrow. A wave tossed in the ocean, a vapor in the wind. Still you hear me when I'm calling. Lord, you catch me when I'm falling. For you told me who I am. I'm yours, I'm yours. That tonight you are his. Amen?
Thank you very much. That was excellent. You'll go for Okay. As our brother Anthony was talking, and he talked about two things which caught my attention. And the first one was that we need to buy back our time. And the second point was we need to set up systems. And that's something to think about, right? Yes. What is the reason for why we work, right? And I know he didn't talk about financial freedom, but if I go to Genesis chapter 43, and I see those same two things, that for Joseph, when he was put up and became a prime minister, the first son was called Manasseh, right? And Manasseh means the Lord has caused me to forget. So in other words, he has bought back my time. And the second son was called Ephraim, and he has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. Isn't that in the Bible? Yeah? It's clever? Okay. All right, that's powerful, right? Thank you. So coming up next, some of you are familiar with this group. It's called Lorofode Group. And I would like to invite Angella, Jemo, one of the founders of Lorofode Group, the people who organized this event, to come and welcome us and tell us what they are all about. So why don't we clap for her as she comes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Angella Jemo, and I'm the founder of Lorofode Inspiration Group. And we do a lot of motivational speaking, we inspire people and challenge people to actually live out their full potential. And so Lorofode was formed out of a need I saw in the society. I've lived amongst different people. I've interacted with many people in the corporate, and I've seen that there's a need. In every person there's a need. And so I thought, why not motivate people and inspire them to do what exactly God has called us to do? Yes. And that's why we are here today. That's why there's Lorofode today. And so many of us have dreams, but many of us have shelved our dreams. Am I right? Many of us have shelved our dreams, and and for various reasons, it could be commitment, it could be marriage, it could be all sorts of things. But I still believe that people can actually live in their purpose in some sort of way. We can still live in our purpose. So people can still live out their purposes. I'm one person who, in the year 2010, I decided to, I was an auditor, and I just felt this was not it, it wasn't it for me. And so, what is purpose? Can anyone just tell us randomly what purpose is? What is purpose? Okay. Okay.
Reason of existence.
Yes. Yes, another person? Okay. I got this from Miles Monroe. His definition of purpose is that purpose is the master of motivation and the mother of commitment. Purpose is the master of motivation and the mother of commitment. When we are not living in our purpose, we tend to look for other ways. Sometimes we don't know that we don't know our purpose, but we tend to look for other ways to fulfill ourselves. But true living is when one knows what their purpose is and actually lives their purpose, right? Yes, so my definition of purpose, there is reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. There's also one's intention or objective. There is how I describe purpose is, in a puzzle, you can't get the image before you get the full picture, right? So purpose is like the last piece of a puzzle. It's like the last piece of a puzzle that completes the image and gives us the bigger picture. Yes. So there's also the definition. Purpose is something that one enjoys to do or can do without pay. Purpose is something they enjoy to do, or they can even do it without being paid. I know from 2010 when I resigned, I started doing a lot of community development work, and I found myself, that's where I found myself, and I was like, wow, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to help people and also help them achieve what they want to achieve. And I have sometimes actually done it without pay, without anyone paying for it. There are various, I looked across very many people that I admire. There's Nelson Mandela, there are the big names like Mother Teresa, and all those big names. And one thing I sat down and I wrote what I think their characters were. And so, characteristics of people who have achieved their purpose, or who are living in their purpose. Number one, consistency. There's something, just for example, Mother Teresa, from the time she got born again to the end, she practiced love. That's what we know her for, right? She practiced love. Purpose, for you to live in your purpose, you have to be consistent. Despite the circumstances that we face in our lives, we have to be consistent. There is also resilience. Resilience is, how do I describe it? It's when you do something, how can you describe resilience? Yes?
The act of bouncing back.
Okay. Ladies, any ladies? Because it's men who do. Resilience? Yes?
Read something that you don't like, but you have to read to succeed.
Okay, that's another definition. Yes. So, anyway, I look at Nelson Mandela, and we all know his story and everything, but he persisted through whatever circumstance, and that's why that's what we know him for, right? I think resilience for me is being able to do, even no matter what happens, no matter the circumstances, being able to do something and actually getting to the end of it. There is also determination. Most of these people are very determined. They're very, very determined to actually accomplish what they want to accomplish. And there's also decisive and intentional. What's being decisive and intentional? Can anyone give us? Decisive and intentional. It's when one has put their mind to do something and to do it against all odds. Yeah? To do it against all odds. I remember I challenged myself in 2010, and I told myself, from the beginning, whatever happens, I will be able to read my word, whatever the circumstances. And I'm here to tell you today that I got into, the year 2010 was a very, very tricky year for me. But what I can tell you, if you're determined to do something, you can do it. No one can be able to stop whatever you want to do. This meeting, for example, I postponed it for 2 years. I kept on telling myself, you know what? It will be the next meeting, the next meeting. Before I realized 2 years had lapsed. So I had my first event, I think 2 months ago, about 2 months ago. So being decisive and intentional, deciding you're going to do it and you're going to do it anyway. Even if you fail, you'll still do it. You get what I'm saying? Yes, there's not decisive and intentional. Most of these people are unique. They're unique in their own ways, and they're also risk takers. If you want to accomplish your purpose, you must, not all the time, but most of the times you have to be a risk taker. Yeah? I remember Boniface Mwangi, who was a KTM reporter or something. You know about Boniface Mwangi? Yes, just the way he decided, despite the circumstances and the clashes, he's going to do whatever he wanted to do. And he was rewarded for it at the end of the day, right? So we have to be risk takers when it comes to our purpose. Now, how do we know, how many people know what they're supposed to do or not, what God has placed them to do? Yes? It's a good number. How many people are still finding out? Or how many people don't know exactly what God has called them to do? I guess if you put your hand up the first time, then yeah. So, how to find your purpose in life? I just got a small test for you people to do. Make a list of the things you do for fun. Example, whatever it could be poetry, it could be singing, dancing, traveling, whatever it could be. Make a list of the things that you naturally enjoy to do. Make a list of the things you would enjoy to do, and the next step would be write down the names of the people you admire. Write down the names of the people you admire. For me, it's I love the way they sing, and I just love what they're doing with their music. And because of their music and their talent and their gifting, I mean, they're being paid for fees to go to Brookhouse by the president. That is now beyond what the society expects. Doing something beyond what the society expects. Make a list of the things you do naturally without thinking about it. Dancing, hosting, traveling. You could be having a great sense of humor. I think we've seen Churchill actually using his gift in that area, right? There's so many things that we'll be able to do, but circumstances may limit us, but we should be the kind of people who think beyond just what our circumstances are. And yeah, so make a list of the things you do naturally. You could also try to get feedback from others. They may point us to our talents. Maybe it's an eye for detail, a greater sense of humor. That's Churchill again. Connecting with patients. Get feedback from others. Sometimes other people may see something that we cannot see, right? Right? Yes, sometimes other people can see what we may not be able to see, and so they could point us to our purpose. There's also, look at your action, passion, and genius list, and spend 10 minutes each morning practicing one of the things you have listed. Look at your action, passion, and genius list, and spend 10 minutes each morning practicing one of the things you have listed. Yeah? Try that and you see how it feels after a week, after a month. Try that and see how you feel. Then, most of the times we are not able to walk into our purpose because we fear. Yeah? We fear. But I think one thing I'm learning, even as I have this event, it doesn't matter what, if you have to do something, do it. Whether the fear is there or it's not there. At the end of the day, if you do it, you conquer fear, right? Yes. So, we have how to live in your purpose. Don't wait for the millions, start with what you have. Yeah, don't wait for the millions. I was going to hold a motivation speaking event in November, and I wanted to fill the multi-purpose hall, 2,000 to 3,000 people. And 1 week to the event, I was just like, this can't, I didn't have all the resources, I didn't have whatever I needed to have that event, and so I had to cancel it. Then that's when I came to learn, start with what you have, start with one person, two people, 3 people, take a step of faith into whatever you know God has called you to do, right? Take a step of faith, and you'll see somehow it'll just take off, yeah? There's also, your focus should be on the bigger picture and not what you have. Your focus should be on the bigger picture. I sat down with DJ Kevin of Mosound. You know DJ Kevin? Yeah. And he told me how many times he tried. He tried having a gig, he'd go into debt, until at some point he decided, I'm going to fly out to to TD Jake's church. And when he was there, things didn't work out. He had to come back to Kenya. When he came back to Kenya, he still tried and went into debt of 1.5 million. But eventually, there's a point where Safaricom gave him a deal. And they told him to do a certain, I don't know what exactly it was, but that was just his breakthrough after years and years of trying. Now we know him as Groover Words, because of Groover Words and Mosound, yeah? So you keep on trying, be committed to whatever you have, to whatever, you keep on trying to whatever you want to achieve, sorry. Being decisive, deliberate, and intentional. Well, no matter the circumstances, what I've come to learn, no matter the circumstances, I must achieve my purpose. I must achieve my purpose. Then it helps in having a mentor who has succeeded in the same field. It saves a lot of time, yeah? If you have a mentor, he's gone through the ups and downs, he knows where you should not go and what you should not do. So it's easier having a mentor, right? It's easier having a mentor, he'll save you a lot of time and a lot of money, yeah? Then there's also limitations to achieving our purposes. Most of the times we're limited because of money, because of resources, because of maybe we don't have human resource. Yes, so, but what I've come to know, the resources, we may not have the resources, but if you have a dream and it's bigger than you, then it means the resources have to be bigger than just you, right? It has to be bigger than just you. There are resources all over. There are banks looking to give money to various, or sponsor various projects. There are various places we can get resources. There's also commitments. Some of us may not be able to walk into our purposes because we are committed in one way or another. Maybe it's family that's making you not walk into your purpose. Maybe it's, it could be anything, various commitments that we have, right? And also, something I call jumping ship. For me, I decided to resign, and I didn't know what God had planned for me. I didn't know what exactly, I was searching for my purpose. I didn't know what exactly God wanted me to do. It took a lot of, I went into prayer and I did a lot of community work until I finally found my purpose. It took me a year of just doing and searching myself until I found my purpose. And one thing I really love to do is community development, which is also part of what we do as Lorofode. And by that I mean children's homes, visiting children's homes, feeding centers. I work with various feeding centers, prisons ministry, going to the hospital. That's how it started, and now I'm here today. So, yeah, do not be afraid to jump ship. Do not be afraid to take that step of faith, yeah? To take that step that you need. It's always a step at a time. It's always a step at a time. So, there's also the question, what will people say? How do you leave a prestigious job earning maybe 500,000 or 200,000 to coming to the slums, or if community development like it is for me? How do I leave that and going to the slums to help people. But for me, I know what it does for me. You understand what I'm saying? So we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't be afraid of what people say and other people's opinions. I've totally lost connection with so many people. I've lost a lot of friends because of what I want to do. But I cannot let myself be defined by what other people say, because I'll be living for them and not for myself, right? Sorry, I had to make it short and quick because time is gone. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that presentation on what purpose is. I'm a gospel rapper, and God has called me to be a teaching rapper, if I can say so. So, and there's impact that we have made in these years. This is why, as in 10 years later, we're still going strong and still serving the Lord. Praise the Lord. I mean, through the grace of God, we've been able to touch nations as far as India, Canada, while we're still here. So intellectual property is something that is very important. So I'm gonna do a small piece. I hope that you'll be able to hear what it is that I'm saying. This is a song called 21 Gun Salute. I'm going to do it a cappella. That's okay? Okay? If you want the beats, I mean, we can put them on, but let me do it a cappella. Yeah. 21 gun salute, end of an era. Only God's pure word will end an era. The death of a movement gives rise to a new thing. All survivors laying low, arise and get rooted. 21 gun salute, end of an era. Only God's pure word will end an era. The death of a movement gives rise to a new thing. All survivors laying low, arise and get rooted. Crosshairs and X's, cartridge in placing, a mission recounted, say bye to the pavement, a trigger run from a killer's gun, a generation's voice is dulling, silent in his coffin, its final victory dance, but unless a grain of wheat dies and is buried, the seed abides alone, amounting to nothing. God is sovereign in all things. The death of an icon should multiply others. Let's look at his disciples, propelled by spirit. His fire they be spitting, that curtain he was splitting, allowed a song to fit in. His mantle never left the earth. The truth, that thing on Elijah was on Johnny back to prove you're the vacancy. Now if we can see his hidden things, then we can know him, because we are from him. Represent his doctrine, rocking it like clothing, new reading skills, living epistles that show us that Jesus lives. 21 gun salute, end of an era. Only God's pure word will end an era. The death of a movement gives rise to a new thing. All survivors laying low, arise and get rooted. Now, finally, I'd like to invite a man of strength, Yani Mtuanguvu. I've just done that, yeah, I did. We met while at Royal Media. At the time, I was working with Citizen TV marketing, so when you hear people have resigned, I even resigned, even me. So when I was just leaving, he was coming in. Then we met again in Christian circles. And then we met again in Daystar University. We were in the same school, and we served together here and there in the Christian Union. Then we met again, this guy is just, he's not disappearing from my life. So now we meet again in this event. And you know him every day. He loves to read news like this sometimes. Coming up shortly, you've seen it, you've seen it, eh? He does a theater thing as he's reading news, which I mean, he's animated and you know what, he just brings it to life. You know him as Johnson Mwakazi. Why don't you just give him a round of applause as he comes, and I believe he'll be sharing about leadership and whatever it is that the Lord has laid in his heart. He is a man of God. Thank you very much, sir.
Round of applause for Mr. Expo. Wow. Are you excited to be here? If you're excited, I want you to give me a big wewe. So I'm going to ask you a question. And you reply. Is that okay? Are you excited to be here? Yes. Now you tell me wewe. Let's do it again. Are you excited to be here? Are you excited to be here? I love that. Round of applause. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate Madam Angella. Round of applause for her. Thank you. Thank you for this great initiative, what you do. You're changing lives, you're touching lives. It's an honor. An honor to be part of this project. Another neat round of applause for her. Mr. Anthony, makofi kwake bana. Hey. You need to be an investor. You need to be an investor, okay? It's very important. Very important. One of my mentors told me, there is no employer, no, there is no employee who can be a billionaire. Only if you're a walking company. You can be an employee, but be a walking company. Now turn to the person seated next to you and tell them, billionaires look like you. No, I'm not talking about millions. I'm not talking about millions here. Big. Say that again. Say that again. In about 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about leadership, but from a very personal perspective. As a mentor, I'm going to break it into 3 parts. Number 1, I'm going to give you an assignment. Number 2, I'm going to give you the talk. And number 3, I'm going to give you instructions in just 20 minutes. Are we ready? Number 1, the assignment is, I want you to, number 1, what is the value of 1 hour of your time? That is your assignment. 1 hour equals to how much? 1 shilling, then any person qualifies for your time. For me, 1 hour equals to 50,000. So when I have a talk with Mr. Anthony, I'm constantly asking myself, is this a 50,000 shilling conversation? If it's not, let's change the topic, because we're wasting time. So what is the value of 1 hour of your time? Very important. So constantly you're thinking, what am I doing to add value to myself so that when I meet Mr. Anthony, I will give him 50,000. You and I know you don't pick 50,000 on the streets, right? So you're constantly developing yourself. Second part of the talk. My MD, I work with the Fountain Media Group, not just as an employee, but as an owner, as a partner. Mr. Bidenboer told me from the time he left school, he has never been asked for a CV. Because he was so good at what he did. He was only asked because of formality purposes. And he told me, Johnson, I want you to be a walking CV. That somebody will call me outside there, Johnson, we need you to be our MD. Just because they heard me talk. Just because they saw me conduct myself. I'm talking about walking, being a walking company. You're a warehouse of seeds. Every day you're planting seeds. Today I'm planting a seed. My word is a seed. My presence is a seed. I'm going to give you, because of time, I'm going to give you 3 management systems. Say 3 management systems because of time. 3 management systems. First management system is your mind. Mind, you need to come up with a mind management system. Your mind is the most important thing at the moment. Let nobody kid you. Let me shake your belief a bit. Your mind is more important than your family. Your mind is more important than your body. Your mind is more important than the workplace, the work that you have. You lose your mind, you cannot take care of your children. You cannot take care of yourself. You cannot take care of your job. So invest in your mind. It's very important. Very important. Joseph Stalin, the leader of the Soviet Union, in the Russian Revolution, they had the idea you bring people to the place where they only focus on bread. Defeather a chicken, put bread, and it will come slowly, picking at that bread, the pieces of bread up to your leg. When you hold people's minds like this, you can use them, you can enslave them. So you need to come up with a mind management system. 3 things very quickly. Number 1, you need to focus on your memory. Very important. Your money will get lost if you become forgetful. You don't have a bad memory, you only have a weak memory. Begin to learn to remember. Begin to learn to capture information. Number 2, your imagination. God gave you your imagination. It begins with visualizing something that is not tangible. And this is why I say have about 5 to 10 minutes every day where you begin to imagine about the kind of life you want to create. Before you have this room, somebody sat down and imagined and created. You are a creator. You can in fact create your day. Before you walk inside that room, imagine. And that you learn really well in the acting world. The actor imagines himself or herself on that particular podium. Imagines, looks at himself. Begin to create your day, very important. And number 3, concentration. Your ability to focus on one thing and pursue it to the end. There are people who begin to talk and they lose. They get into other stories, so they mess up even the information that they're delivering because of lack of concentration. Number 2, you need to have self-management system. Say self-management system. Self-management system is important. The first thing you need to note is confidence. Let me tell you something. Confidence is not a gift. Confidence is your key to your next level of productivity. You are where you are because of the level of confidence you have. It is not a gift. God will not give you confidence. And for those who believe, now that we are in a church setup, have you ever heard of battles in Canaan? That was the land. The world is ruthless. They will steal leadership. There's somebody who is sitting and they're looking at the food on your table and they want to take it. Walk bended, speaking, whispering, somebody will take your food away from you. You need to rise up confidently, attack issues, focus on agendas. Bending, that's bad posture. It has nothing to do with humility. Self-discipline. When you start something, you do it. You've got to have the culture called do it now, do it now. You're always focusing. You never have dead air in your time. Your respect for time will determine your prosperity. That's why I said, have value for your time. Very important. Very important. You need to have a self-management system. You need to have accountability. A lot of talk is there in terms of how you can live with 100 a day, 100 shillings a day. But how many people know how to live on 24 hours a day? A lot of time is lost between the moment you leave your house to the time you get to work. In fact, one writer, Arnold Bennett, in his book said, it's like we walk in a mental coma. We are dead as we walk to work, as we board that matatu. You can begin to challenge yourself to focus on one thing. As you walk, as you cross the road, as you sit down in that matatu, focus on one thing. Train yourself. And account for each day you spend before you sleep. Account. Number 3, very important, you need an inspiration management system. If you remain inspired, you will never fail. I can assure you that. You will never fail if you remain inspired. Inspire yourself. Nobody has the responsibility of inspiring you. In fact, every person is waiting to be told how good they are. So before they tell you how good you are, it will take so many years, perhaps. And perhaps you will have died by then. A lot of people commit suicide because they do not have inspiration. Inspire yourself. Come up with a system that inspires you. For me, you walk inside my house, I don't have a museum. Pictures of my past, that's a museum. My house is full of my future. I have pictures of who I want to be. I have pictures of public speakers. Great men. When I walk in, I say, that's Johnson Mwakazi. I have a picture of a lion in my house. When I walk in, I walk like a lion. Have you ever seen a lion in the cage, the way it walks? Yeah. I have a picture of the car I want, the house I want. When I walk in, I look at that and I say, nah, I can't waste time. I have a picture of a man with some six-pack. When I see it, I'm down. Press-ups. Your mind needs a hero. Your mind needs a goal. Leave that house, your museum. Create a future in your house. Have an inspiration wall where every day you look at it and say, today is a new day. I'm going to do great things. Mind management system, self-management system, inspiration management system. Very quickly, I only have about 7 minutes. I'm going to give you 5 instructions very quickly. The first one was an assignment, the second one was my talk, the third part is instructions. 5 instructions, are you ready? Number 1, never be late. I've lost businesses because I was late. I was invited in Thika for a conference. I was told your time to speak is 10 to 11. I got there at 11. The organizers were kind enough to acknowledge my presence. Ladies and gentlemen, our speaker has just arrived. Thank you for coming. I give thanks to God for the voice. Somebody told me, hey Johnson, we just need your voice. It's 200 shillings. Just for the voice. But hey, send me your quotation by 4 p.m. today. I got home at 7 p.m. Called, sorry man, it's been, yeah, we understand you're a media guy. Yeah, so what about the deal? Well, somebody took it. Never be late. Never be late. Call people 30 minutes before that you're coming late. Don't call people 5 minutes to time. Oh, sorry, I'm stuck in Angella. Number 2, speak what you know. Don't tell people what you think other people are thinking or what say. No, speak what you know and you'll be safe. It doesn't kill to say, I don't know. Or please ask them, I don't know. You will say something stupid, it will land you in jail because you said it. Who told you? Well, I thought they were thinking. Number 3, never forget who you're talking to. Sit down with the president, talk about, football and all that, but never forget he's the president. Sit down with any person, your lecturer, any person, talk about all sorts of nonsense, but never forget who you're talking to. It's important. It's important. Never forget who you're talking to. Number 4. Apologize quickly. Apologize quickly. You make a mistake. Why do you make a mistake? Because you made a stupid decision. So how do you begin to explain stupid? The reason why I didn't do it. Stop explaining stupid. Just say, I'm sorry, it will never happen again. Now you are ready to be taught. Next time don't do this. When you do this, now you can learn. Apologize quickly. answer the question asked. Just answer the question asked. Where did you buy your jacket? Do you like it? No, I didn't ask you. No, where did you buy the jacket? One student leader was being interviewed and he was asked, do you own a gun? He said, well, I'll be getting one in the course of the week. If he just said, I don't own a gun, that story could have ended there. But you know what? That became the subject of the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, personal leadership. John C. Maxwell says, if you cannot lead yourself, why should anyone follow you? Assignment, get the value of your time. 1 hour, how much is it? Talk, you are a walking company. Come up with management systems. Mind, self, and inspiration. And the 5 instructions, let's say them together. Number 1, never be late. Number 2, speak what you know. Number 3, never forget who you're talking to. Number 4, number 5, there is a king in you that is waiting to be unleashed. If you think you're a queen, then you're subject to a king. I'm talking about a king who is answerable to the King of Kings. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mr. Mwakazi. Another round of applause for that. And he kept time. He was not late in ending his topic. And therefore there was no need for apologizing quickly. Yeah? He's a great man, and I think one of the rarest things is to put a price on wisdom. Because the human condition is we've always been trained and raised up to come up with formulas. But there's no formula for wisdom. Does it make sense? Because wisdom will outlive you. Hallelujah. There's a church out in here. Wisdom will outlive you. Okay, let's take a breather. That was a deep, a short, a brief speech on leadership, but it was very weighty and deep.